Open up Buildbox, create new game, click 3D game, start with a blank template as always, drop in the FBX for character 3.6. This one's going to have the animations. I forgot to highlight these separate objects before exporting. When you drag it into Buildbox, you might get this empty space with no character. And this has happened to me multiple times and I've never figured out why, but I figured it out. To fix this for character 3.6, you gotta go back in Blender in object mode, highlight everything by pressing A. If everything is orange, it should mean that everything's highlighted. Export the FBX again, click export. This one's gonna overwrite the same file with the same file name, so we don't have to worry about that. Go back to Buildbox, delete this, drag this back in, click import, and you can see that we don't have the character again. It wasn't highlighted when I exported it again. You can see when we go back to Blender, it's not highlighted, so it's not orange, which means your 3D model isn't selected and its armature isn't selected. When you export, there's going to be nothing in your FBX file because nothing was selected. If you want to be sure that you selected everything, expand your rig so that you can see your armature along with the body and the outline that you created. In the scene, press A, and you'll notice that everything is highlighted in orange. Also on the right side, you can see the rig and the body and the outline is highlighted. So that's what you should be checking before you export your FBX. And I think a better way to confirm this is to go to pose mode, select everything to make sure that your animations are also showing, but it's probably better to do it in object mode, but everything should be selected. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to export this. It might just be object mode, select everything, and then you're able to export, or it could be pose mode, select everything, and then export. So that's what I'm trying here. So I go to File, Export, FBX, and you can see, like I mentioned in the last video before I exported, if you expand Bake Animation, you can see I have all actions checked. If you want to export one action at a time so that you have an idle animation and a separate running animation that we have for character 3.6, you would uncheck all actions and then just rename the idle animation right here with character 3_6_ idle animation. And that way you'll have your keyframe animations separate to use in Buildbox. That's how you would do it to keep everything organized. I didn't realize that I had the all actions checked. So that's why the names get a little confusing when you have a whole bunch of animations, because all your animations are bunched in to this FBX file. This FBX file has this one name of character 3_6 animated for BB, and it's going to be the name for both keyframe animations. So that's why it becomes confusing later on when you bring it into Buildbox. That's how you would separate it. That's going to be more clearly explained in another video when I have the content. I just didn't figure it out during this time in the video, so I'm just explaining it ahead of time so that I remember to talk about it. Now we'll go back to Buildbox, drop this back in, and since our character was highlighted correctly in Blender, everything seems to be working. We can see our character now.